It was early January at Westberrie, and winter can't make up its mind. Light snow, then melting, and the same story over and over again.
I hate this part. Don't be my favorite. Don't be my favorite. Don't be my favorite.
Probably gonna be your favorite.
Probably gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely lighter.
I like this one, but the oranges really come out in here. Like the orange tones of the brown.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I still love. I love the color of it, and I really like the gray option, but it's kind of...
I think it looks kind of dull.
Yeah,
there's not... And, of course, we don't have any light. Like, it's not a bright, sunny day, which would change a lot, too.
We need to take it upstairs to the studio and see.
You want to go up there then?
Yeah, but well, since we can't have that one, now I'm kind of leaning towards this one.
Yeah, what was nice about this one is I feel like any of the darker browns gets pulled out of that floor while it's still being lighter in other places.
I agree.
And that certainly looks fine. Kind of does the same thing. It just doesn't pop quite as much, I would say.
What part of it?
Like it looks a bit more dull. Like just it's kind of a flat. There's not a lot of variations in the color or anything.
Yeah.
Whereas this has some darker darks to lighter lights.
I really think though this is a bad sample because this whole section, like half of the sample is that. Like there are darker pieces, there are not. You know, there are streaks in here. This is another tone aside from these. Like, as a whole, I actually think this one is gonna turn out very similar to that one.
Yeah. On camera too, I think everything, what we've learned about this whole process is like a camera, even taking a cell phone picture or something in the store, it will not look anything the same. And even right now when I'm filming this and looking through my camera, it looks way more of an orangish brown on here just because whatever the white balance is, and it doesn't look quite as accurate to your eye, so that's gonna throw things off. But yeah, this one to me in person looks just more greenish.
Yeah, and see, I don't see that. Well, they're not the only options.
Yeah.
We did go to 2 different stores and look through all the colors, and what's hard is in the stores, everything else came out orange or red or...
The only other one I might look at when I take these back is just that one that was slightly darker.
Okay. Hello. Would you like to come in? You're a funny guy. Hi, sweetie. This one, like you said, this is a really poor sample because it just looked so blah.
Yeah.
And I just, for whatever reason, I absolutely thought that was going to be the one we ended up going with. And it's just kind of
Yeah, it just doesn't stick out. And when you have a whole floor of something, it's much, much different, obviously. All right, let's go up to the studio. It's not going to be hugely different than this room as far as light, but just that is definitely the brightest room for sure. And they all just look so different on camera. Like that one looks a lot darker.
well, that one too.
Yeah. Which I don't mind.
No, I don't mind either.
The cool thing about this one, at least from here,
Is
but
the gray one?
yeah, I don't like the color scheme, but if you look from over here, you can see the wood grain, like the reflection of the wood grain, whereas I don't see it. Let's put these right next to each other.
Which ones?
Put that one right next to it and see if we see the same type of grain on there. Yeah, so come in here. It's definitely much more pronounced on the gray piece.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Sure.
It looks like weathered.
But does that make it too busy?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Nothing sticks out like, oh, this is the absolute best one.
I'm worried though, like, so you talked about going back to the store to return the sample and getting a darker one. Like, that's gonna be really dark up here.
Right. Yeah, it might not be the best option.
I don't want a dull floor. I don't want to look at it and go, no, there's really no points of interest there. But the problem with that one is I think there's so much variation. I do kind of think you get tired of that.
We'll have to keep thinking.
No verdict on the floor color just yet, but we'll have a final choice very soon. The special delivery showed up a few days later in the form of a new lens for my camera. So of course, Kelsey modeled for the first few shots, and we all enjoyed a few moments in the sun on the porch.
This is what we do in the Midwest when it is 32 degrees outside and the sun comes out in January.
Soak up some vitamin D.
We've been enjoying the golden trees in the late afternoon, the golden moon rising in the evening, and the golden sunsets that are simply spectacular. Living away from town makes staying home much easier, but it's also great to see civilization with friends every once in a while. One early afternoon, we decided to get out into the fresh air. In the past, we would have to leave our property to go hike, but out here, we just hike our own land, and that's something very special.
Up higher.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a really good chunk of that whole section.
Oh, that up there.
Yeah. Always got something going on the trails. Look at though, we need to get something because this one up here, right there,
Yeah,
is
that one's
also
gonna
busted
fall.
and it's about to fall.
Well, it's not going to fall until this one comes down.
Yeah. Unless the wind like really.
Yeah, this would be a good one to eliminate.
See that? Yep.
That's shredded. Like, I don't know if that's because it's brittle or if it wasn't taken out naturally. Raccoon, maybe?
Probably raccoon,
I gotta remember that.
yeah. That's all black raspberries up in there.
And it's not difficult to get to. I mean, this grass gets really tall. I always scold the dogs for getting that stuff. Ah! Anyway. Look at this. That is a deer print, though.
More cleaning has been on the agenda as we wait for trim work to begin. While Kelsey vacuumed, I spent most of the afternoon trying to clean up our windows upstairs. I wasn't kidding when I said the world has been golden lately. The late afternoon sun was back to put on a show. There's simply nothing like a Midwest sunset. We finally got a light installed above our shower and got the lights turned on under the porch as well.
You don't like this thing or what? Huh? You want to go for a ride or what? Okay. I have a towel to put back there if you need to keep adding somewhere. Okay.
This is why we put in a 36-inch door.
This is why, you're right. All right.
And I don't have a lot of room on this wall here. I'm hitting on this side.
Okay, keep just maneuver just like you did. Perfect. You're clear over here? You're fine. You got like.
I can't see it.
Yep, oh, I see. You're fine.
Yep. It's gonna start coming fast.
Yep, I got it.
Good.
I'm under it.
Okay. All right.
But you do a quick. Yay! Some people are going to be like, okay, why are you so excited that you have laundry machines? It's just laundry machines. It's a chore, right? But there's something about having my own laundry access at home that's very freeing. And I think a lot of people out there would relate to that, like having to take all of your laundry off site, go spend a day at somebody else's house, or try to fight people over at the laundromat trying to get machines. And anyway, I bless all of you who have to do that, because I'm so excited to be able to have laundry back at home. We still have trim work to do, painting, flooring. So we just don't know exactly the timeline of all of that. So we decided to put the machines in here so we could use them, but we are going to have to be moving them in and out, or at least shifting them so people can work around them. So they're in here. I can pull the doors open. We can function. I can get laundry in and out of here, which is all that matters at this point.
Did I fail to mention to you how much I really dislike garden hoses? Especially when they're cold and caught on everything.
There's plenty of reach.
Yeah, there should be. Well, this is 100. I think maybe more than 100 actually. Just like no pressure.
Let me turn it all the way up.
All the way on. One of the things when you're coming from 1,000 feet away from your water source is that most of the water inside seems fine. Even like our shower isn't quite as high pressure as we had at our other house, but that was we had a really good pressure at our other house, but we might need to turn this up a bit down at the road, or this isn't gonna work. About as good as I can get. It's not gonna do much.
Now, most of you are probably saying, you live in the country, your car's never going to be clean, and you would absolutely be correct. But on a somewhat warm day in January, it's just nice to get a little bit of a clean car, and looks like it actually has a color to it other than brown. So that's what I'm doing today. But I wanted to tell you about our water situation, just to explain a bit more about that, is that we do have a well, and I'm planning to use that pretty much just for irrigation purposes, and I'm hoping that that's going to be enough for me to do some of my lawn projects and things that I want to do with that. Maybe we'll run a line off of that also to Kelsey's garden. We haven't figured out that part yet, but I think I am going to have to change the pump that we originally put in there for the well, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But we also have rural water out here, which is essentially just a city water source already piped into the ground throughout the rural areas out here, and so we actually are hooked up to that. So we ran 2 lines of water up to the building. We ran the well up here, but we also ran the rural water up here, and that's what I'm using for this water source. That's what I'm using for everything inside and all that. So the only thing about it is that it does have a pressure regulator down at the road, but as I said, we're about 1,000 feet from the road up to the building. So I don't think we have that regulator turned up all the way down there. We'll probably talk to the water company and see if they can turn that up a bit. Otherwise, there are some booster pumps that you can put in probably the mechanical room to boost the water pressure just a little bit. As I mentioned, though, inside, it really hasn't been bad with the shower or anything. We'll just need to make sure we have the biggest size water line for all of our outdoor spigots for all the rest of them that get put in. So I think this one got sized down a little bit, which didn't help either. I think I got all the air out of the line now. It's working a little better. So now the thing of it is, Kels, is that you can't drive this anymore.
I know.
Just has to sit right here.
I was thinking about that.
No more.
I'm just not going anywhere anymore.
No more driving.
Probably be less expensive.
So we got some fresh wood chips in, which is always good to have. We have just a local place here that whenever they have tree work done, we just told them just keep bringing them out here, so we've been using those. And I mean, this whole thing over here this past year was really not even usable when we were first out here in any sort of winter time like it is now, just because of how muddy it was. So this has been a really great way to be able to utilize your spaces during the winter when the ground is real mushy. It's worked great for us, so really recommend that for sure if you can find some free wood chips somewhere. That's something that I'm really looking forward to is planting a whole bunch of grass this year, just because it helps with making sure that erosion isn't happening and you can walk on it in the winter even if it's slightly, wet or kind of not frozen on top, and you won't have such a muddy mess everywhere. Now you can see here on the driveway where everything, when you drive, gets pushed off to the sides or to the middle. Just naturally, that's what happens. And so today I also wanted to work on this just a bit because I have a lot of loose gravel over on this side here that I could utilize if I can get it put back into the path. And I'm going to use the power rake on the Ventrac and see what I can do with that. The driveway maintenance was done for now, and hopefully very soon we'll have more progress inside the building too. Until then, we just keep admiring the view.